Okay, this video is going to cover how to set up the slider to help you get some more of those cinematic movements that you might see in a movie, like a movie moment, if you will. The slider really comes in three pieces. You get the slider itself with a tripod head attached to it already, and you get two light stands. You're going to want to screw the light stands into the slider. I think it's easiest to do this on a table or upside down or on the side. You're going to want to do that for both legs, obviously. When opening the legs, there's a blue lock, and you kind of pull the legs, kind of force them out. And it'll allow you to move the legs down, and the rest of the leg or stands are telescoping, so you can just unscrew those and raise or lower the slider as you see fit. Again, it's this little blue latch at the base. You kind of just gotta pull the legs apart to get it to open up. And once you have it set up, you should have something that looks sort of like this. So now let's go over the actual parts of the tripod. It's a little bit different than what you're used to. There's a pan lock there. Be sure you unlock that before you pan it left to right. Resistance is underneath here, this red dial. That's the resistance or drag control. It allows you to pan faster or offer more resistance for any movement. The tilt is on the right side, and it's this lock right here. This locks the tilt up and down. The resistance, however, is on the other side. So again, that's the tilt lock. Always want to make sure that's unlocked before you tilt the camera. But the resistance is on the left-hand side of the tripod head or slider. And this controls, again, the drag of the tilt. So be sure that before you tilt the tripod or camera, you have that tilt lock unlocked. Now similarly, you have a quick release plate, just like you do on a regular tripod. You would unlock it here and slide it back and forth, but the safety lock is a little bit different. It's on the back, and it's this black button here. So you push it in, and that'll allow you to slide the quick release plate off. And just like the other tripod, you would slide it in through the little tracks there. So it clicks, and then you would lock the quick release plate lock. So it doesn't slide. You can use the same quick release plate from your tripod and use it on the slider. So once the quick release plate is attached to your camera, it's interchangeable with the slider. Now this red dial is the lock for the slider. So this is, you want to always make sure is locked when the camera is sitting on the slider and it's not in use. You should always keep a hand on the camera or on the slider when the camera's on the slider. But just be aware of that lock. You want to be sure it's loose enough so you can move the slider easily with the camera on top of it, so you can get those really cool movements. It doesn't really have any resistance. The resistance is really going to have to be you kind of pulling back or pushing slowly as you use the slider. A couple of things to think about is maybe using a wider angle lens when using the slider, because it reduces the visual bumps that you might see on screen. But just always be careful and be deliberate with your movements when using the slider. But you can get some really cool shots. It kind of creates like a dream-like effect. It's a great way to create a movie moment. In the next video, I'll explain the difference between a zoom and using the slider. And here are some shots where you use the slider to get kind of that movie moment.